I got new skates. So these are the Razor's Shima 1 Retros, and they look pretty great. So a huge thank you to my Patreon supporters for helping me get the funds for these review. If you want to support the channel, go to patreon.com/backtoblading. Even $1 a month would help. So Razor's is one of the older aggressive skate companies. You know, they were started back in the early 90s, and they've kind of been the also-ran brand. You know, if people were ranking their top skate companies back in the 90s, Razor's definitely wasn't in the top 5. Fast forward to 2000, and they dropped the Shima, and everything changed. So Brian Shima was one of the best skaters there ever was, and Razor's released a skate for Brian in 2000 called the Shima 1. This is a retro of that skate. So the skate that came out in 2000, very iconic. This is a playoff of that, and they capture it pretty well. So the Shima is based off of the Razor's Colt, which is the super flat that was one of the first skates that Razor's came out with. And this is a modified version of that skate. So it has a striking lacing system. This is a soft boot, fake leather style stitching around the lacing area. So rather than using the regular eyelets that you would use in the boot, use these little custom Shima style eyelets. And I don't think any other skate has had any eyelets like this. I think this is a very unique look, classic Shima styling. So the most iconic part of this skate is the liner. This Shima lettering in the back, you could see from a mile away, and people used to tuck their pants into the liner so that it was even more pronounced. In the original though, this liner was much taller. So this is a fairly low liner. You can barely see the word Shima. If you pull it out, you can kind of see it, but the original had a very high liner. So this liner is based off of the Rain V3 liner. The Rain V3 is one of my favorite liners. It's around $80, and it's probably the most comfortable liner for the price. This is a fairly less expensive version of the Rain V3. The materials aren't as high quality. It doesn't have the heel lift support. The Rain V3 has this leather, like sticky sort of material in the back here so that you don't have heel lift. This doesn't have any of that. It's very slippery. But it looks like the same form. It's got the same toe neoprene, so it fits most feet sizes. And it's got the lace-up area. It's a good liner, it looks. I don't know that it's as good as the Rain V3, but it's definitely better than most stock liners. One of the weird things about this retro is that it comes with a Featherlight 3 frame with flat 60mm wheels. Now, there's a lot of truth that Brian skated flat, and his original Shima 1 came with a Razor's skate. This was pre-UFS. So it came with a Razor's frame and 56mm Mind Game wheels, I believe. So sending this flat makes a lot of sense. However, this frame isn't designed for skating flat. This frame is designed for skating anti-rocker. And you can tell by the depth of this groove and the way that these wheels overlap with the groove. There's a thing that we call wheel bite, which is when you jump on a ledge or a rail, you want your frame to grind, you don't want your wheels to grind. As your wheels grind, they're not designed for sliding, they're designed for skating. So they're going to grip, they're going to hit that ledge and stop you. That's not a good feeling. This isn't how Brian would have skated it. He would have probably skated this setup anti-rocker, or he would have skated this with a flat frame, not with something with a deep groove. I am going to give it a shot though. So this is the way that the skates come. I always skate the skates stock in my first session to let people know what they feel like. I'm really worried about these wheels. I don't think that this is going to be a very fun experience. I did bring anti-rockers just in case so I can swap them out, but this would be, in my eyes, the first thing that anybody should change. Swap in some anti-rockers, take out these wheels. You get some free wheels, but swap these out. You won't be able to skate these. All right, so these are the size 44 skates. My foot is 28.5 centimeters, and I think this is the 10-11 shell. I think that's how the shell break works. They feel great. Not gonna lie, I'm pretty shocked at how good these fit my feet. It is a raised heel boot, which isn't my preference. The raised heel is kind of the traditional inline skate where you've got the heel, which is a little bit taller than the front of your foot. Makes you feel like you're leaning forward. I don't prefer a built-in raised heel. I would rather it be a flat boot and then put a shock absorber in the back to give you that natural forward lean feeling. This has none of that. So it is just the plastic. There is a little pad with a little bit of foam that's keeping the bolts from rubbing on the liners. But really that's it. There's no shock absorption inside at all to speak of. But it feels okay. I don't have any noticeable foot pain, tightness, heel issues. They feel like really solid, responsive skates. Riding flat 60s on Featherlight 3s, I'm not gonna lie, it feels pretty good. Just the fact of skating around flat, yeah, I feel good. You know, going up the quarter pipe, catching airs, things like that, I feel like I'm skating solid. I feel like it's a fun ride. Obviously, I haven't done any grinds yet, but just from a skating perspective, if you got these skates and you skated them right out the box, I think you'd be really happy with the performance. Now, as soon as you jumped on a ledge or a rail or a curb, I think that's where, that's my question. How is that gonna feel? Let's go find out. All right, so sole plates feel good. I feel like I'm locking solid. They slide great. I did just wax the ledge, so the speed is hard to judge, but I'm locking good, feeling like I'm able to roll over fine, not missing. That is a positive. The frames, obviously, they're designed for any rocker, so this being set up as a flat setup is kind of questionable. Any dragging trick, like a Mizu or like when I did that alley-oop sole, you can see that there is sticking, but because it's dragging, it doesn't really matter, right? It's just kind of skipping along the ledge. As soon as I forced it, like with my mistrial, that's when I started getting some serious wheel bite. Unless I fully committed and went super flat, which then slid. So it's possible to do groove tricks and you know, mistrials and such with this setup, but definitely not recommended. It's not the right setup for that. However, I'm gonna try some Royales, and I have a feeling that I can do this. These wheels aren't broken in. Usually with wheels like this Rocket Profile, the outside layer is stickier than the actual urethane. So these are fresh wheels. It's gonna take a little while to wear down that outside layer so that it will slide. So again, take everything with a grain of salt. This is my first impressions video, but I'm gonna give it a try. I think I could do it. I just gotta get really low on that Royale, really commit, and stay off the ledge, like angle it as much as I can. Here goes. All right, so this is not fun for groove tricks. Just wheel bite. I was able to get on a little bit with one Royale, but really it was more like a cess slide on top of the ledge than anything else. I'm sure some people could do it. I'm sure if I focused and spent a lot of time practicing on this, I could do it. But it's the wrong setup for grinds. Nobody should be skating flat 60s if they want to do grinds. It's just not, it's not enjoyable. It's proving a point. It would be much better if you just went anti-rocker. What a difference the right setup makes. I love Featherlight 3s for Royale tricks. They're just so low, perfect angle. Like, if there were the concept of cheater frames or cheater setups, this would have been considered a cheater setup because it really helps you get into that Royale position. The way that the H block isn't flat on the bottom, it's kind of flat and then tapers and then tapers. As you get to the different angles, it pushes you down to get boot down on Royales. It's really a fun ride. Yeah, skating anti-rocker with these, absolutely no problem with groove tricks. It's a different ride altogether, but it's probably the right ride for this setup. I think if you were in the market to get these skates, I would take those middle wheels out, save them, give them to a friend, but get yourself some anti-rocker wheels, put them in there, and I think you're going to have a blast. I'm going to skate this setup for about a month. You know, I usually do my reviews over like a month's time. So I'm going to try different configurations, different frames, different liners, things like that. See if I can improve the fit and the grind. But to be honest, I mean, they feel like I had expected them to feel. They're a really nice snug fit, no frills, good responsiveness, not a lot of shock absorption. Featherlight 3s feel like Featherlight 3s, the sole plate feels fine. I mean, it is exactly what you would expect from a Colt, but it's $300. So I think at that price, it's hard to justify. Again, the difference between the baseline Colt probably includes the crappy liner. This liner is much better than that baseline Colt, but other than that, what's the difference? You know, the Shima-fication of it. What's that worth to you? 50 bucks, 100 bucks? That is for you to decide. But for performance, price, no object, I think these are fun. I do like these skates. I'm going to skate them for a while. And yeah, I hope you like them too.